Ooh, yeah. Gazebo pile is a good insult.
Yeah,
It is.
good
Yeah.
one, Spicy Ferret.
That's very
Yeah.
Australian.
Oh, you're such a gazebo pile, man.
I'm not making anybody transpose anything with my name. If you're doing it at home, that's for your own enjoyment and edification.
You absolute bus waffle.
There's some stand-up comedian that I think that was like, at a certain point, any word can mean like really
Curse?
no any word can be drunk, can mean like I got super drunk.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
oh man, I was just gazeboed last night.
Yeah. And everyone knows what you mean.
I was just spooned.
That only means one thing.
I got completely lizard.
Yeah, wait, yeah, spooned might not be a good one.
You
But
mean
yeah,
slizzard?
Slizzard. Yeah.
last night I was just a complete gazebo pile. Went around the gazebo several times last night. I just got bust up.
Wasn't that a party?
It's not really a party until I get a little bit gazebo.
It's about to get gazebo in here.
Until I build a tiny gazebo in my liver.
That's the sequel to Birdhouse in Your Soul.
Gazebo in your
I think that'd be giants. Gazebo in your liver.
For anyone who's asking what a pergola is, it's what you build when you don't have the money or the time or the attention span to build a gazebo. It's basically just like it's an awning that doesn't stop anything. It's the worst awning. It's literally a pergola is the worst awning is what it is. It's a tent that doesn't care.
Wow.
It's a tent that stopped trying. Let's just be honest.
Constable Crab says it's the skeleton of a porch.
Yeah, it's true.
I feel like you were somehow wronged by pergolas in the past.
No, they're fine. They have uses, right? Like you can if you twist ivy onto them, the ivy will grow in and among the spars, and it'll look really beautiful. And it can do things like stop rain and stop the sun. So there's uses for a pergola. But yeah, let's be honest. When you start with a pergola, it's kind of not doing much.
Yeah. Now, when you end up with a pergola, you didn't start your gazebo correctly.
You know what? Yeah, it's like, you know what? Let's just do a pergola. I'm not in the mind space for
I'm not really
gazebo
visualizing a gazebo
Yeah.
in this space.
I have like $85 and only enough charge in my drill to do about 9 screws. So let's just do a pergola.
You'll get a pergola and you'll be happy about it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh no, I hated that when I wanted like a puppy and my parents would give me a pergola.
Which
This is what the man at the store said. This is what you wanted.
You should never do that to a kid because they don't take an interest and you end up with like 3 dead pergolas in the backyard.
I hate when I go to a restaurant and I'm like, I want a gazebo, and they're like, is pergola okay?
Like, no, it's not.
You look
If
at
it
them in
was
their eyes
okay,
like,
I would have said I wanted a pergola.
Would it be fine by you if you wanted a gazebo and just got offered a pergola? Oh man!
Oh no!
Don't post it in chat. What are you doing?
No pergolas in chat, please.
Lark Sacrosis is courting a ban. Don't actually ban Lark over that. That was really timely. Just let that be alone.
It was just so shocking.
Yeah. Oh, great.
Oh, that one's even worse.
It's just a gate. You're right. Oh, yuck.
Oh,
I mean,
come on.
Oh.
I know this is not great for the people watching at home. If you're watching this later and you're like, I guess I can get on Twitch, but it's like, yeah, you're not going to be able to tell what people are posting. And, well, we're not going to do a lot more of that in chat, obviously. Because then we'd have to start showing them off on screen and we'd have to harass all of our viewers.
Yeah. Ooh.
I'll take.
Now we're on yurt talk.
Yeah, I'll take a yurt.
I'll talk yurts all day.
It's a whole other thing.
The yurt, as Cameron has pointed out, the yurt that is for you.
Ooh.
The yogurt.
The yogurt
whole
that's for
different
me. Can I have yogurt in the yurt? Or is this a yogurt-free yurt?
Yurt-gurt?
I just want some yogurt.
It sounds obscene.
Well, it's probably yak milk, you know.
Yeah. Oh, what's
Scrub?
the name of the fermented yak milk drink? Oh, come
Tea.
on. What do they call it again?
Yurt.
Not Yakult, but yes.
Kumis?
Thank you. Kumi.
Kumi.
Kumis? Is it?
Kumas?
I think you don't say the S, right? I think
Kumis.
it's just Kumi. Maybe there's an S on the end. Someone's gonna correct my pronunciation, I'm sure.
Gurt in the yurt.
Milk wine, yeah.
So there's a surprisingly large number of freestanding shelter type structures that have funny names.
Oh yeah? Like what?
Like we've
Like-
got 3 already. So what else happens after that?
What's better than a pergola?
No, that's what I'm saying. There's a surprisingly it's just yurt, pergola. These are fair. It's just they're funny names.
Yeah. Like
nice.
gazebo. Oh, I like bungalow though. That is a weird sounding way to refer to a house.
But I'm always disappointed by a bungalow.
Yeah.
Like, I want a house to have like a basement or like another floor on it, but then you get to a bungalow, it's like, what is this? A little flat house,
It's just inefficient use of space, is what it is.
like flatland the house.
Surely you're allowed to put a basement under a bungalow and still call it that. Right? Like I've lived in parts of the world, like basements are not a big deal here in Victoria, apparently. Attics seem to be like,
That's because it's rocks.
yeah.
I mean, the places usually have basements here.
Do they?
Do they?
Like
I
I
feel
was
like-
unaware that was the case.
I don't know. I feel like most houses have basements. I mean, they're often like half height, or not half height, but like not like they don't go.
So
Yeah.
like a
The
crawl
ground.
space?
No,
Yeah,
but like it's a full height basement, but it's not the full basement distance beneath the ground.
Oh, you mean
It's
yeah?
like a
It's
split level.
well, it in as much as it's like, do you mean that about 1 or 2 feet of the basement, like so,
So you
have
get the
basement-
the windows like high up, right? So
Yeah.
you get like a little bit of
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that is also code though. Like you have to build a basement that way. But I've been
Can't
in a
go
lot.
full subterranean.
But then
Yeah.
everyone turns those basements into like questionable
Suites.
sublets. Yeah, suites.
Yes. That does happen a lot here. Most places we looked at for rent that were like in a basement were they were like, there weren't a lot of them, but we did see a couple, and it was like that kind of thing where it's like, yes, you'll be downstairs, you'll be below the line, quite below the line. But there's like, I mean, it just seems, I don't know why, but it seems like everywhere I went in Alberta, there was always basements, but never attics. There was always attic space, but it was like, you don't want to go up there because it's not a place for you to go do anything. And then moving out here, it's like, oh, we have an attic and it's finished and you can walk up to it on stairs. And I'm like, isn't this just another floor? Like, no, it's the attic. Is it? It's like, yeah, see how the roof, like the ceiling is your roof. I'm like, yeah, I guess it is. I guess this is technically an attic.
Yeah, I don't know. My my parents' house did not have a usable attic.
Jen's posted more structures. What's a Belvedere? I thought a Belvedere was just a person name, but is that actually like a? Are people named Belvedere named after the building, or is
Yeah,
it's the other way around? Did someone named Belvedere make a building and then that got named after them?
like I've got like balustrade and banister, but Belvedere is not something in my lexicon.
Belvedere is an architectural structure cited to take advantage of a fine scenic view. Oh, so it's basically like it's a like a tall sort of it's a thing that was like it's like a tower or something that's specifically put somewhere to get a nice view.
See, like people have sent me many pictures on Twitter and Mastodon of what you could consider Belvederes, but they are just toilets in the wild. Like if they're a structure made to take advantage of a fine scenic view.
That's what you want, Beej. You want yourself a Belvedere.
You want a toilet in a Belvedere.
Yeah, it's true.
That sounds like a butler name, though.
Mm-hmm.
Belvedere, my bags.
I mean, that the show did help establish that.
I'm pretty sure that, as with a lot of things, the strict classification borders are not as strict as one might like. There's some fuzziness between, you know, when does a gazebo turn into a Belvedere? Is it a gazebo? Is it a Belvedere if it's just a gazebo that's looking at really nice stuff?
Like on the edge of a tall hill.
Is it just a gazebo that's really tall?
Yeah. Is it just a gazebo that's putting on airs? I don't know.
Wow, look at that tall gazebo. A real Belvedere.
Mm-hmm.
Really Belvedering it up. But yeah, that's the fun part about classifying things, is that most of the time in the real world things don't fit it. Everything doesn't necessarily fit into nice, clean clean divisions.
But
and you know what? That's okay.
If you're looking around the room and you don't see the pergola, it's you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Boy,
and then you can be like, man, I'm not a big fan of this pergola. And somebody's like, what? No, this is a Belvedere. And then he's like, I mean, really, it's more of like a gazebo-y Belvedere, but to be honest, it's like kind of a pergola.
Okay, TXC brings up that Belvedere sounds like one of those Canadian words like Chesterfield, and I would like to argue that I think is more of a British word that we just end up saying a lot in Canada.
That's how our
that's
language
a lot of Canadian
works.
words.
Yeah, that it's like I don't think it like originated here as a thing. Like a Chesterfield was not like a sofa that got made in Canada. I think it's more of like that's a British thing that then of course we pulled over like a lot of things like that.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a unique Canadianism.
Yeah. But it's just our UKisms are closer to the United States than the UK is. So they perceive it as being from us.
Yeah.
As opposed to from them.
In the States they know it as cigarettes, right? Like it's tobacco and stuff. But yeah, it's
and what do we call them? Chesterfields? Why? Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, no, I don't. Whatever.
It's a cigarette so smooth you can just sit down and relax on it.
Mm-hmm. You just lean into the smoke and just. And now we're being asked, what are some unique Canadianisms that are not anywhere else?
Man.
And I'm like, I don't know. Like,
Matthews,
how about Sea-Doo?
Sorry, Matthews has got some great info here. The Chesterfield sofa was invented in the mid 1700s when Lord Philip Stanhope, the 4th Earl of Chesterfield, commissioned a piece of furniture for his guests to sit on. Everyone was like, this Lord Philip, he's got this great new thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a chair, but comfortable.
Has
For
a lot
your
of
guests.
has a lot of stuffing in it. He never seems to sit on it, but he lets us sit on it. But it seems nicer than his other furniture, and I don't know why he's doing that.
We're gonna call it a Stanhope because that there's Lord Philip Stanhope, and it's like, no, that's not a good name for it.
No. What about Chesterfield? Is that a better name? I don't know. Don't give him the pleasure. I mean, wow, that is a hell of a banquet.
Thanks, Anubis.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the weird thing about Canadianisms or whatever isms from whatever country you're from, is often it can be kind of sometimes it can be tricky to know what they even are, right? Because you're immersed in it.
Yeah,
it's like, what, other people don't use Chesterfield? Oh.
Mhm.
Yeah. Double. 24.
I mean, double is just a thing at Tim Hortons. That's just like a thing
It's
at Tim Hortons.
Canadianism, though.
yeah.
I guess.
Everyone knows what it is, even if they don't go to Timmy's.
There's that.
Does anybody ever order a double in a place that isn't Timmy's? I mean, Timmy's for one. That's also a
Not that way.
Like it's funny because when it's food words, like even just the word poutine, right? That it's like, well, that's a Canadian dish. Thereby, the name itself is also seen as being, it's Quebecois, it's Canadian. There we go. And I'm like, but there must be like other things that we refer to up here where it's not like the name of a food. It's just the name of a thing.
A double.
A lot of local words.
Yeah.
End up like
Yeah.
like I don't know, muskeg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, yeah, because it's like, what? God, I mean, loony and toony are kind of, you're right. Those are two very Canadian things that we've said.
I mean, those aren't like Canadian slang terms. Those are actually like the names of those things.
Yeah.
I mean, though they didn't want us to call it the toonie, right? Like, by and large, people are like, don't do that. Let's not call it the toonie. That's lazy. And everyone's like, yeah, that's why we're calling it the toonie. It caught on in regular parlance. They're like, I guess we're calling it the toonie now.
But
I mean,
like,
toque is definitely one. But
a briar? Do other people have a briar?
Like for curling?
Yeah.
Is that I wonder. I mean, maybe we named that. I keep seeing bunny hug show up. I'm like, yes,
Yeah,
perfect.
that's only Saskatchewan.
Yeah, that's only Saskatchewan, but still,
I don't know without it. As somebody who's
It's a
not
hoodie.
from
It's got a
Saskatchewan,
pocket on the front.
yeah, it's a
A bunny
pullover
hug.
hoodie with a big pocket. I've heard my mother refer to them as kangaroo jackets,
Yeah.
but bunny hug is kind of
I have not heard of that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the other thing. Canada's real big, and the slang does not necessarily travel the whole way across.
Like I could say the word skookum, but that is
skookum
that is
chuck.
that is literally just taking
Just a word.
First Nations word. I don't know from what language specifically, and just being like, we're going to use that also.
I mean, that's the case for many words.
Yeah.
But that's how a lot of our Canadianisms work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or weird mispronunciations of various loan words.
22 skidoo.
Because skidoo was something coined by Bombardier, right?
Yeah, and that's an intersection, I think, in Toronto.
Yeah. 23 skidoo or 22 skidoo?
I thought it was 22. I thought it rhymed.
Maybe it's 23. I'm not sure.
How many
23.
skidoos
Ooh.
do you have? Wait, what does that mean? I don't actually know what 22 skidoo
I think it
or
was
23 skidoo.
Yeah,
23?
however many
okay,
skidoos you
yeah,
have.
I think it.
definitely feels like a reference, because it
Like
if
I've
you're
heard
saying
the
it's a
term, but I don't know
location-
what it means. The Schwanigan handshake?
23 skidoo is
Shawinigan
not
handshake.
Canadian? Okay, well, never
Okay.
mind.
Schwanigan handshake is more just like a specific incident.
That's true. Yeah, this is like jazz era slang.
I believe
I
that's the. Am I correct in thinking that's the shake and then headbutt.
Yeah, because I think, he was like, he got offended and then he just headbutted the dude. It's like, all right, do that. I mean, there's lots of terminology that like Letterkenny introduced, like 10-ply and stuff like that. And
Yeah, I mean I guess that might become real slang, but it's not actually that is whatever. There's probably a term for it. That's sort of
I think that's fine. I think that's like, new slang
certainly.
is coming out of, a popular TV show or whatever that happens all the time. But yeah, it's like, I'm sure we just have like slang that was maybe invented at a more grassroots level. Just things people call, like bunny hug is an example of that, right? I'm like, I know of no TV show that just called it that, and then everyone started calling them bunny hugs. That was just always what they were kind of being called. Like somebody mentioned gitch and gotch as a means to refer to your underwear.
Yeah,
and it's like,
gonch.
Yeah. Ginch, I've also heard
gooch.
as well.
I've heard gaunch a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, I dislike all of those words, but they are certainly there.
It's an effective describer.
Yeah.
Oh, it is choking.
He did choke a guy?
Yeah, the Schwinnigan handshake is choking a guy. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and 22 Skidoo or 23 Skidoo is from New York.
Ah, good.
I heard gaunch in an LRR sketch. That might have been one that I wrote.
Ah, yes.
Or Graham. I mean, it was. I think it's something that like both of our families used as a term.
Then we got other like brand names that people don't use, like Duotang. Crazy carpet. I don't think people have crazy carpets.
Yeah.
I had a thing that wasn't not a slang thing, but just in terms of terminology. I was in French immersion class for the first till the grade 4.
Right.
And so I didn't know the English words for some like things that you use in school.
Like your notebook.
Like a notebook was I called a notebook a cahier.
Ah, yes.
That's what they were called.
That's right.
I didn't actually know what the English word for it was because it never came up. I never had to use it.
Cahier d'exercice. You grab those all the time.
That's just a Yiddish word.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's not a Canadian thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know like a shocking amount of Yiddish words as a Canadian. Like
Yiddish has excellent words for things. They're just fun to say. Schlemiel.
Schlepping. Kvetching.
Oh, loose leaf.
Loose leaf, really?
Yeah, is that wait? Because Furry Armor's asking, is that a Canadianism? Like, did you call it loose leaf? Like in any other part of the world? Is it just up here that we call it loose leaf? Because we're gonna find out people are like, we don't know what that is. It's like, okay, great, maybe it is. It is common. Okay, fair enough.
Or like something like foolscap for.
Yeah, foolscap.
For lined paper. I don't know if that's one of those words that maybe is not a Canadian thing, or maybe is a Canadian thing. I don't know. I have no idea what it actually means.
What's the one about going to the LCBO?
In Australia.
The one that's like going to the LCBO, but they mean that in a different area. Because the LCBO is the Liquor Control Board of Ontario, right? And you would go to the LCBO to get alcohol because it's all provincially controlled. But wasn't there like another one where it's like going to the whatever liquor place, but it's like it's like a pronounceable acronym? I can't remember.
Lickbo?
Yeah, Lickbo.
Everyone's saying I don't
Liquor
know
board?
what that.
Yeah.
Liquor board. Oh, I see. Right.
All right. We have definitely a lot of Canadians in different parts of Canada hanging out, which is nice too. But
well, I remember. I think Graham was talking about doing a panel at when we were doing a panel at PAX Australia, and there being extremely strong feelings among the Australian audience about what certain slang terms meant.
That was amazing.
Very differing opinions, shall we say, from people coming from different parts of Australia.
I loved that because he did that in the first time when he and Kathleen went down, and so when we did another panel the second time we went to PAX Australia, and they and he's like, "Oh, here, watch this," and he did it again, and the crowd lost their minds again, and I was like, "Oh, good, it never changes." Don't change, everybody.
Yeah.
The BCLC, I've heard sometimes, but not
I
often.
have never heard
Liquor
Dick Lick.
store, or I mean, because in BC it's like the cold beer and wine store,
Yeah.
which is weird. I don't know why it has to specify that it's cold.
Yeah, sit tight, Australians. We'll come back. We promise. Just got to get some of the virus out of the air, but we'll get there. We're working on it. We have a whole plan for how we're going to suck all the viruses out of the air. And next,
okay.
carbon dioxide.
Oh,
Well, we're working on that problem.
We've got one of those Dyson vacuums, so we should be in business.
yeah, one of them. Yes.
Yeah.
I just
We've
replaced the
just
battery.
been leaving it running.
Yeah,
so
it's
we're
a
hoping
real
that's
strong.
helping.
It's like a pretty strong vacuum, though. We should be okay.
I'm told they're very powerful.
The science. It's spinning.
Mm-hmm. They make a
blades.
vortex.